Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well. In today's class, we'll design this fan model, the render of which you can already see on your screen. So without wasting any time, let's jump straight into the class. First, I'll delete the default cube, then press Shift plus A and add a UV sphere. I'll set the segments to 12, go into edit mode, and rotate it 90 degrees on the y-axis. Next, I'll scale it down on the x-axis to create a more flattened shape. In face select mode, I'll enable X-ray mode so I can select through the mesh. If you don't enable X-ray, only the front-facing faces will be selected, but in X-ray mode, when I drag to select, the back faces will also be included. I'll now press P and separate the selected faces into a new object. I'll rename and hide it for now. Now, back to the main object. In edit mode, I'll switch to vertex select mode, choose one vertex, enable proportional editing, press R to rotate, and shape the mesh slightly. If you're unfamiliar with proportional editing, I have a complete tutorial on that. I'll leave the link in the description so you can fully understand all the options. Now in edge select mode, I'll Alt plus click to select one edge loop, then go to select similar, length to select all edge loops with the same length. I'll deselect these edge loops and press Ctrl plus B to bevel the edges. Then I'll go into face select mode, press Ctrl plus I to invert the selection, and delete the unwanted faces. Now we have our desired shape. Next, I'll add a solidify modifier, set the offset to 0, and adjust the thickness as needed. Then I'll add a subdivision surface modifier, set levels to 2, and right-click to shade smooth. If needed, I'll increase the thickness again. Now I'll apply solidify modifier. In edit mode, I'll use the insert I and select only this face and extrude, Alt plus E, extrude along normals, tools to refine the shape. I'll use extrude and bevel tools for desired look. I'll sciable proportional editing and use move to adjust shape. And bevel this edge loop to get a cleaner look. I'll unhide the previously hidden part, enter edit mode, select the face loop, duplicate it with Shift plus D, and separate it. I'll unhide this again, then duplicate and rotate it 180 degrees on the Z axis. Now I'll join both parts using Ctrl plus J. Since they were separate objects, the vertices may overlap. I'll select all with A, then press M, merge by distance to remove doubles. Press Ctrl plus 2 to apply a subdivision modifier and shade smooth. Then add the solidify modifier. I'll scale up a little. Put the value of 0 in offset section and adjust the thickness value. And apply the solidify modifier. In edit mode, I'll bevel selected edge loops and extrude faces inward along normals. I'll also unhide and scale up a hidden part and add modifiers as needed. Then I'll select these faces and separate them and hide the separated part. Now I'll select these edge loops and deselect the unwanted edges and press Ctrl plus B to bevel them and separate them. And hide the outer part. We will use it later if we need. I'll add a solidify modifier to this part and set the offset value to 0. Then I'll adjust the thickness value as needed. After that, I'll right-click and choose Shade Smooth and set the subdivision surface modifier levels to 3. Next, I'll unhide the part we hid earlier and in edit mode scale it up slightly. As you can see, this object is not aligned on the x-axis. The vertices are not aligned on the x-axis, so I'll press S, X, and then 0 to align them. Now, still in edit mode, I'll move the object slightly inward along the x-axis and then extrude it. Finally, I'll select this edge loop and add a bevel. Next, I'll create an edge loop here and select these faces. I'll duplicate them by pressing Shift plus D and separate them into a new object. Then, I'll add a solidify modifier to this new part, adjust its values, and apply Shade Smooth. After that, I'll create another edge loop, bevel it, and extrude it inward. I'll also bevel these other edge loops to refine the shape. After that, I'll create another edge loop here. Then, in vertex select mode, I'll select this vertex and press Ctrl plus Shift plus B to bevel it. Note that this vertex won't bevel with just Ctrl plus B. It requires Ctrl plus Shift plus B to create the bevel. After beveling this vertex, the face that is created will be inset. Then I'll extrude it inward. I'll insert it once more and extrude it outward along its normals. Next, I'll align the top vertices along the z-axis. I'll create another edge loop, align it on the z-axis, and move this part downward. Then I'll select these face loops and extrude them along their normals to create the desired shape. Finally, I'll extrude this face inward and scale it down. I'll select these faces and delete them. Then, I'll select this edge loop and press F to fill it. After that, I'll extrude this face inward, insert it once, and then extrude it outward. Using extrude and bevel tools, I'll shape it into the desired form. With this part complete, I'm now going to design the part behind the fan blades. I'll select these faces, duplicate them, and separate them into a new object. By pressing the slash key, I can enter isolate mode, allowing me to focus solely on the selected object. In edit mode, I'll extrude the blade and check if the extrusion is correct by toggling out of isolate mode with the slash key. Then, in edge select mode, I'll bevel these edges. Using extrude, bevel, and inset tools, I'll continue shaping this part into the desired form. To create the fan blades, I'll select this face loop, duplicate it, and separate it into a new object. Then, I'll set its origin to geometry. Next, I'll enter Edit mode, select the entire geometry, and scale it up. If I just press S to scale, it will scale uniformly, but I only want to scale it on the Z and Y axis, not the X axis. So I'll press S, then Shift plus X and scale it up. This way, it will only scale on the Z and Y axes. Now, I'll select this edge loop, extrude it, and scale it up. Adjusting the scaling as needed. For now, I'll hide the subdivision surface modifier in the viewport and create a few edge loops. After adding these edge loops, I'll select these two edge loops and enable proportional editing to rotate them slightly. In face select mode, I'll select these two face loops and also select this one face and separate them. After separating, I'll create an empty object and add an array modifier on separated part. Right now, there's a slight issue because the object we created isn't aligned with the origin of the fan blade part. To fix this, I'll press Shift plus S and choose Cursor to Selection to move the 3D cursor to the blade's origin. Then I'll create an empty object, which will now be placed exactly at the blade's origin. In the array modifier, I'll uncheck Relative Offset and enable Object Offset, selecting the empty object. Then I'll select the empty object and rotate it 90 degrees on the X-axis. I'll set the array count to 4 and enable Merge. I'll also check the first and last copies option under Merge. Next, I'll move the array modifier above the subdivision surface modifier and add a solidify modifier, adjusting its thickness. Now you'll see the blades are a bit straight. To give them a slight rotation, I'll go into Edit mode. Select this edge loop, enable proportional editing, and rotate the edge loop slightly along the Z-axis. The reason these vertices aren't aligned is because we rotated the upper blade with proportional editing being enabled, which affected these vertices as well. I'll align them along the X-axis, but I'll do it after disabling proportional editing. After that, I'll apply the array modifier to the blades as well as the solidify modifier, so you'll see that the blades are now complete. Next, I'll select this edge loop, duplicate it, and separate it. Then, in Edit mode, I'll extrude it. After that, I'll select these edge loops, bevel them slightly, and scale them up a bit. And you'll see we have this nice shape ready, which looks pretty good. I'll also select the back part of the model. From the bottom side, I'll select these four faces and inset them. After insetting, I'll right-click and go to the Loop tool and select Circle to make the shape circular. If you don't see the Loop Tools option, you can enable it in the add-on section. Next, I'll inset it and then extrude it inward. After that, I'll do inset and simply extrude it along the normals. Then I'll align these vertices along the Z-axis and create an edge loop here. After creating the edge loop, I'll select these face loops and extrude them along their normals. You'll see this shape is also ready. I'll refine it a bit by adding bevels or additional edge loops to adjust the shape. and it'll look quite good. As you can see, the modeling part is now complete. I'll apply some simple colors and materials to the object and render it. If you're not sure how to apply simple texturing or materials, let me know in the comments if you'd like a next part where I demonstrate how to apply materials and render this model. I hope you enjoyed today's class, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments section. If you like this class, you can subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so you get notified about upcoming classes. See you in the next class. Until then, goodbye.